up, everybody? Watching Blazing Confused again, and today we have my daughter Hannah and we have my son Carson.
What's up, guys?
And today's subject matter is a suicidal matter. It's a story that took place in 1991. It's something that I wanted to go explore down in Dallas, and I was actually able to a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're familiar with the band Pearl Jam, they have a song called Jeremy. And Jeremy was based off a real life incident that happened.
He was 15.
15, yeah. People say 16 because he was so close to 16, but he was actually 15.
Yeah.
Did you know? So the song Jeremy is about Jeremy. The kid we're talking about is Jeremy Wade Dell.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce it?
Okay, I've heard two things. I've heard it's pronounced Deli.
Yes,
and Dell.
yes. See, I struggled with that. So some of the interviews from back then, they said Deli, but most people say Dell. So I don't know
either.
how it goes. So I'm just going to say Jeremy to save confusion. I learned through this research that the song Jeremy is not just about Jeremy. Part of it's about Eddie Vedder, a personal experience when he went to school in California. Did you know that?
I knew it was like combined.
Combined,
stories.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the mom of Jeremy did not appreciate the
No.
song at all and
Mhm.
said it didn't match. But I think once you break it down and separate the two stories, the Jeremy portion does still match.
Yeah. No, I agree. The mom said it doesn't match, but his track history, and if you look back on all the research,
It did. So, okay, so we'll kind of run down this real quick. In Dallas, it's Richardson, Texas, is where this took place, just right outside of Dallas, Texas. There was a kid named Jeremy Wade Deli, whatever it may be, and he, in his English class, ended up committing suicide. Put a gun in his mouth, committed suicide in front of his whole classroom and the teacher, which, as you can imagine, caused a lot of trauma for a lot of people.
yeah.
Eddie Vedder, the lead singer of Pearl Jam, saw that article in the newspaper, I believe, when he was in Seattle, and decided to write a song about it. So on their debut album, this album here, Pearl Jam 10, that came out in 1992, there's that song on there, Jeremy.
And he said it like stuck out to him.
It stuck out to him, yes.
It was like one of those that you, just like any other, there's some cases that you go out and learn about and you're like, damn, it just sticks with you.
See, for me, it was the West Memphis 3. Ever since I saw that documentary back in, it was their mid-90s maybe.
Mm-hmm. There's always like cases that do that. Right now, mine is like the Idaho case. I don't know what it is with the Idaho 4 case that recently happened, but that one just is like
Drawn to
stuck.
you.
Yeah.
That's kind of with me and Charles Manson. I heard the story. So, anyways, so I was under the impression until recently that Jeremy was bullied a lot. And I found out that's not the case, actually.
Mm-mm.
I always thought that, like when I first heard Pearl Jam's Jeremy many years ago, back in the 1900s, I thought it was like a class shooting. But even back then, we didn't have internet, so we couldn't look it up.
Research.
And then I saw a video on it several years ago about the real meaning of it, and that it was actually a real person.
Yeah.
And then
I saw it on TikTok a few weeks ago and I sent it to you and you already knew about it and I was like, what the heck? I didn't know this.
yep.
I knew the song, but I did not know the story.
And then when we found out, we go to Dallas fairly often, at least a couple times a year. And then I found out that he was buried in Richardson, and so that's been on my list to go. And so this last weekend we actually went to Dallas for other purposes, but while we were there, I was able to get some video, and I'll put all that footage at the end of this video. I got video of his grave, and I got a pretty decent video of how to get to his grave, because online there's not very much information. Carson and Jessica had to match from like TikTok videos on buildings and stuff.
Oh gosh.
And the cemetery is two parts. There's one here, then there's a street, and there's one across the road.
There's a highway that's separating the two.
Jeez.
And the one that we spent a lot of time in is a massive cemetery. Couldn't find it, and then finally we realized that there's a part across the street. We found it, so there'll be a video of how to get there for people that are interested. I know we're not the only ones.
We spent about 20 to 30 minutes searching for it.
It's about
crazy.
30 minutes, yeah. And then I found his house that he lived in that with his dad at the time it happened. So I got footage of that, and then I got some footage of the high school where it took place. So I'll put all that at the end of the video. So
And it's still an active high school.
the reason why I have my kids here doing this, because it is a touchy subject about suicide. For one, my kids know a lot. I don't shelter much from them. Hannah's been wanting to talk about it, and I asked him if he wanted to, because he was there in Dallas with us this weekend, going through the motions, listening to interviews that we found online. So he decided he wanted to be on it. I know some people think, oh, that's not an appropriate subject for a kid, but it actually, I feel
think
it
it's
is.
important to voice it and know what it is, to be aware.
To be aware, to talk
To
about
look
it.
for signs.
And like I've always told my kids, if they ever felt certain ways that come to me, talk about it, you know. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do, is give all their time to try to help somebody. A lot of times it's just swept under the rug until it's too late. And most people say, hey, I should have done something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I've dealt with suicide through other people. I've known a few people that's committed suicide, and it is hard. It's very tough, and it's something that I feel children should be aware of, and just communicate with your children about it. Because too many times you see it happening, especially to a child, and the parents have no clue, you know. So anyways, all that aside, so doing the research, this is what I found. I found that Jeremy has mental issues. He's been into mental institutions.
Admitted. Mm-hmm.
His dad was trying to get him help. His mom and dad have been divorced at this point for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 1989 when he moved in with his dad.
With his dad, yeah.
And his dad has dealt things, has gotten him help. And I'm sure it was hard on the dad too, because that's a very hard task to do. But the kid has been known to talk about suicide. Not only talk about suicide, and talked about threats.
He made threats to teachers.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was going to kill his math teacher.
Yep.
To multiple students.
And he never threatened the teachers themselves. It was hearsay that he's told other kids.
Yeah.
And then at one point he did get arrested for a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said, I have no reason to do this. And it kind of got swept under the rug.
He said that the other kids twisted his words.
Yes. That over time, one kid tells, it's like the telephone game.
Yeah.
You say something, and by the time the end of it, it's different. That's what he kind of blamed it on. So he did have a girlfriend, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up breaking up, and that kind of messed him up psychologically. And then he had another girlfriend, Melissa, I believe.
They met at the
hospital.
At the hospital, at the mental hospital. That didn't necessarily work out. And Melissa says she was pregnant, but it wasn't with him because they've never had sex together. But he told other people that it was his kid. So the dude had mental issues. And was very vocal about it. The school did try to get him, was very aware of everything. They tried to get him help, the counseling. But I feel that he was going to do it one way or another.
Yeah, and they said, because he did try, I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, he took a lot of pills.
He did attempt, yes.
Yeah, he attempted by taking a lot of pills. You're absolutely right. There was another attempt also, or a story where he put a gun to his head in front of somebody. I don't remember, so I'm not gonna. I'm trying to keep this as factual as possible. So, anyways, the day of him committing suicide, he was in ISS, in school suspension, because of the threats. Well, he was supposed to go back to regular class, and when he went to his English class, the English teacher gave him a hall pass to go to the office to get the letter clearing him from ISS to return to class. But instead, he went to his locker, and he pulled something out of his locker, which they assume was the gun, but they still don't know. And then they said as he was walking from his locker, one of his peers called his name. He ignored him, walked into the classroom, and I've heard two different things on this.
What'd you hear?
So I heard that he said, this is what I really need.
That's what I heard.
And then pulled the
That's what I
gun
heard.
out. But there's an interview with the principal, and he says that same thing, but then he follows up, says, this is what I really need to do. And then puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. And there's an interview out there, which is easy to find, of other kids talking about it.
Other classmates.
And there's that woman
that one girl.
that looked,
Yeah.
she's, and I'm gonna leave her name out of it. If she wants to go public with it, that's her discretion. But yeah, she was in the class, saw it happen, and then when they were leaving the class, she kept telling herself, don't look, but she ends up looking and seeing. I mean, you can imagine the aftermath of that. And she says to this day, it's stuck in her head. Like, she can't get it
That would be very traumatizing.
It would.
out of her head. I also read that the students in that classroom, they let go home that day. But the school as a whole continued on. And I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I read.
I read that they were like released, but I didn't know it was just that particular class.
Yeah.
I want the whole. I would
That
let the
would
whole
be-
school.
I don't know if that happened, I feel like everybody.
should.
That would be weird.
Because at that point, for one, you're not going to get anything done at school because that's
No.
all you're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to think about.
The police are on scene.
There's no way they could hide it.
That's
Yeah.
just like 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I was at work. We didn't get nothing done that day, as most of the country did. You stayed by the radio or the TV, and I feel that's the way it would be in school.
Yeah.
So the dude, Jeremy, like I said, I was under the impression for many, many years that he was just bullied.
He seemed like a
And
very.
if you listen to like the lyrics first, just off the bat, it kind of seems like that. If you didn't know the story.
The song makes it sound like he was bullied.
Yeah.
If you think about it in general, he wasn't. He was a well-known dude. If you go back before the murder ever happened, he was all talking to people in an interview that we watched the other day about this girl. He was giving people to send out letters to people. Like, he was talking.
Well, those
to
were
them,
suicide
like-
letters.
Yes.
Suicide letters. He did give suicide letters to people to mail out for him that he pre-wrote. One to the Melissa chick, one to the Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the people that he told to mail the letters out were like nice to him, like they're friends. Like, he's known a lot of people.
Well, they said he was upbeat. He was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another sign of somebody that's suicidal. They can be depressed and down in the dumps, and then if their mood suddenly changes to being real happy and this and that, they say more than likely they have the plan. They're going to execute the plan, and it's kind of like Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
Has been the lead singer of Linkin Park. He committed suicide.
He had all these. clues
Side note
and
on
all
that,
the
though,
songs.
he could have been murdered too. There's a conspiracy theory on this.
Really?
Oh yeah, if you haven't dug into that one, dig into that one.
I have not heard this.
There's the tied to Chris Cornell's suicide, that they were going to expose Hollywood's pedophile people.
How old was he when he killed himself?
Chester Bennington?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. That I would have to
There's like a group.
look up.
Have you heard like the 27?
27 Club.
Yeah.
Well, there's overdoses or suicides, but it's all happened when they were
27.
27. You got Jim Morrison, Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain,
Yeah.
Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. No, Janis Joplin I don't think is in there. Somebody will correct me on that. I don't think Janis Joplin, but Jim Morrison is in there.
I looked at this up the other day.
God, there's quite
so
a few.
many.
Amy Winehouse is in there. There's quite a few, and there's quite a few known people that died 27 that just aren't as big as Kurt Cobain or
Yeah.
Jim Morrison. I may be wrong on the Janis Joplin though. I think I'm wrong on that one, or I might be right. Somebody can tell us. Somebody can tell us. So, anyways, my impression shifted from. I mean, I still feel bad for the guy because of mental illness, but I thought it was a worse case than what it was on the side of people picking on him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't picked on.
And back then, there wasn't mental health wasn't a
No.
big thing back then. It wasn't.
I remember in the 90s, it was a different time. And I mean, hell, you can call people things back then that
yeah.
if you say it now,
It's
you're
offensive.
canceled.
Yeah.
It was a different time, and mental illness really wasn't
It's not how it is now.
recognized.
I got something to say. Okay, I might need help here. Remember the first person he went to give, he gave that girl that letter to mail? Do you remember her name? It was like Andy or something like that.
Nancy, I think.
Is that who?
Is it a Nancy or Melissa?
No, who he gave it to mail the letter
No.
to.
Oh, I don't
That's the
remember that
girl.
girl's name. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember that.
Whatever the
detail.
girl's name was, he gave it to her, and she had to go to the bathroom after that. She went to the bathroom, and then before the bell rang, she was contemplating on, should I read this note and be late to class, or should I wait till I go home and then read it? She ended up, the plan was to read it after school, but I was thinking if she did read it and was late to class,
Beforehand.
she probably could have stopped that murder happening
Suicide. It's
Suicide.
not a murder. It's a suicide.
entirely.
She probably could have, and she was. She was debating because she was either stop and read the letter or go to class and be on time, and she chose to be on time. But by the time the letter was read, it
It's
was
like
too
the
late.
butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If one thing changes, the whole thing could have.
But like we talked about in the car about it is even if she read the letter, she stopped that day, he was gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no at this
It was
point.
already in preparation.
Yeah, there was no stopping him. He wanted to commit suicide. I guess a positive of it is, as bad as it is to do that in front of a classroom full of
At
kids,
least he didn't take anyone else out.
at least he didn't take nobody else out.
No
at least,
innocent lives were taken
right.
besides that.
Besides him.
Back to the I thought at first right when Dad brought this whole thing up when we were going to the cemetery, I thought the impression was he was being bullied and the kind of revenge was doing it in front of the classmates so they all can witness it.
Right.
So I thought that was
So you thought it was for like revenge?
I thought that was a revenge to traumatize him.
But even in Pearl Jam's Jeremy, the video, it does portray him being bullied. Because at one point in the video, there's like all the kids are like kind of like still framed, but they're pointing and laughing at him.
Yes.
Which that didn't take place. Now, the other kid that Eddie Vedder was telling a story about in the same song was actually bullied. And it's something that he witnessed, firsthand. So that song, Jeremy, is about Jeremy Wade Dell, but it's also about another kid.
It's a combined story.
It's a combined story, and that's where people get confused because they think the whole thing's about Jeremy, and that's not the case. Now, this other kid that was bullied that he sung about, and it didn't kill himself or anything else. Interesting fact about that kid that played Jeremy in the video,
He drowned
he drowned.
at 36.
Yeah. He's no longer with us.
I thought that was wild.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
You play a kid that dies, and then you end up dying.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was weird
Yeah.
when I was reading about that.
It's like, man, so that song is really dark,
It really is.
like all around.
Yeah.
From the video to, just the whole story is dark.
And when he sings it, like, cause I was watching like him live sing it, he said he sings it with like so emotion, like
Mhm.
he feels it. Like it's, you know,
He wrote that
like
song.
he put himself in those shoes and like, you know,
He wrote the song because he felt,
yeah.
you know, these stories. The mom, I think, the mom hates the song, and she said it's
Yeah.
made their family, it's been hard on their family, and every time it's played or whatnot. And I can understand that. I have a different opinion of his mom
I do too.
by interviews that I've heard.
Okay, because she made it seem like he was just like the happiest
Mhm.
kid ever. And I'm like, okay, if I was a parent, like, you gotta, I'm not saying it was her fault or in any way, but I'm saying, like, obviously their family life was something, you know, and like, even when he was admitted, he said multiple times, I'm having family issues, or I'm having tough time at home, or all this stuff.
And even in
then,
school.
Then it wasn't, you can't say that. You can't be like, oh, we're a happy family.
Yeah.
Well, she goes on about how he used to be an amazing artist on
Oh,
drawing
yeah.
and stuff.
I
and
saw the elephant. Did you say the elephant?
the elephant
picture?
that he won.
Okay, that was pretty good.
He
For
won
a
an award
7-year-old?
for 7 years old.
Yeah.
Won an award for this drawing. And I understand her as a parent wanting to keep the positive stuff and the happy moments,
I understand, yeah.
but at the same time, you got to be real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, this is a real situation now. And she did say that she started a group within her church to try to help people, you know, which most people do that lose a child, start some kind of foundation to promote whatever had happened to that child.
And doing research, it opens my eyes more of like, parents can say that they know their children 110%, but they really don't. Like, you won't know, even if we tell you everything, like, you won't know them 110% or what they're actually doing or what actually they're going through.
Well, being a parent, as I have been for 25 years now,
I'm not that old yet. I'm 24.
you're on the tip of you're on the tip of the iceberg at 25. It's like Facebook.
Yeah.
You only see what they want you to see. You know, you see on Facebook, oh, they're the glamorous couple, they're inseparable, they're Bonnie and Clyde, but behind the scenes, it could be a total disaster. And it's the same thing with your kids. You know, they can come home happy and cheerful and stuff, but you don't know what's going on at school. You don't know what's going on in their head. And as a parent, how many times have I asked you guys, anything good? People picking on you? What's going on?
A lot.
Well,
You know, we need to know these things. And if you're a kid watching this, tell your parents. Communicate with them, because we can't help unless you do.
Mhm.
To the parents that know there's something going on and they're just blowing it off, shame on you.
yeah.
You know, I've always told my kids, if they're in a situation or something, reach out to me. We'll fix it. We'll work on it. You know,
There's stuff that we do. Something's wrong, and let's say someone's right next to me and I don't want to say anything. We have this code where
don't say the code, but we have a code.
we have a code.
The whole purpose of the code is nobody knows.
It's a secret code.
But we do have a code if they need help, or if it's with somebody or even by themselves or something, that we resolve it. You know, I get them out of the situation or whatnot. And I suggest everybody do that. It's more or less kind of a safe word, kinda, but have some kind of code with your kids. Ask your kids how their day is going. Reach out to your kids. I mean, it's so important. And I'm not saying if the mother did that with Jeremy, it would have changed his mind, because
No.
it seemed like he made up his mind
Yeah.
that
He
this was going to
set on
happen. And from what it sounds like, he knew he was going to do it that day. He knew he was going to do it in that class.
Like, he wouldn't have written the letters, made sure that
Everything was
pre-done.
pre-done. And you can go online, you just type in his name and there's a website, and there's actually a copy of one of the letters there. There's also a cassette tape somewhere of him talking about his suicide that he sent to somebody.
I've tried looking for
But
it.
you can't find it nowhere. And I'm sure that would be a huge piece of the puzzle.
I don't know if you guys have an explanation of why, but why did he tell people he's going to go to Tokyo?
Okay, so did you hear about that part?
No. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Okay.
So he told one of the girls that he gave the letter to mail for him because he said he wasn't going to be around after school because him and his dad were moving to Tokyo that day at 3:00, which never happened. That's a total fabrication. But he did say that, according to that girl, the interview with that girl had said that he said that, which she thought was bizarre because there's never been talk about it. And why would they just up and leave so suddenly?
To a whole other
Country.
side of the world.
Yeah.
That's weird. And out of any place you could have picked, it's like, Tokyo's it.
But it's, out of all the interviews that I've read, all the interviews that I've watched, one thing's for certain is he was going to do that to himself.
Mm-hmm.
However, there was a bunch of fabrications of his stories to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like the whole pregnant thing. This girl, which I found out through interviews that she was never even pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So whether she said that to him or not, we don't know. But he did go around telling people that she's pregnant with his kid, which they've never actually done the deed to get pregnant. So there's a lot of fabricated stories and lies mixed in there. It just seems like I don't know. I feel bad for him. Because, like, if he was alive today, would I say he'd be like 50 years old?
Yeah.
Be 50 years old today. And there's nothing, not a girl, not anything worth doing.
No.
A lot of us have been in dark spots before. I know I have throughout my life. But you press through them and you just keep going. And things do get better if you want them to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's mental illness out there, and I'm not sitting there saying you can just fix it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just wish...
The only way you can make change is if you do it
You
yourself.
want to.
Yeah, if you want to. You can't force it.
Unless it's mental, like real mental illness. I mean, there's so many variables on it. It's so easy to sit there and critique everybody.
But you can't. It's too broad of a...
I used to
Thing.
think people that committed suicide were cowards. And I don't think that anymore. Because to them, they're thinking differently than what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to kill somebody else and then take yourself out, you're a bitch.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You want to take yourself out? Don't take other people.
No. Don't take innocent people.
Innocent people, your family. How many times do you hear murder, suicide in a family?
A lot.
It's like, seriously? In those cases, yeah, you're a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a coward little bitch. But the people that do it solo, I can't say that anymore because, for one, I don't know what's going on up here. Nobody knows what's going on up there. You know, it's like I've said before, you know, Jessica, you all know Jessica has cancer. And I know a lot of stuff behind the scenes that even the kids don't know or anybody knows because I'm right there. But I still can't sit there and tell you what's going on in her head. What emotions are running through, what she thinks about. You know, nobody can.
No.
Same with me on my end. I'm a primary caretaker. There's a lot going on in here too that people don't know, that we just keep to ourselves because people don't need to know. Like Chester Bennington said in an interview talking about his depression, he's like, you know, when you get in your own head, he says, this is a bad neighborhood, and this neighborhood wants to take me out. And everybody at certain points of their life, I feel, can sympathize with that, you know?
Mm.
So if you're feeling depressed, suicidal, seriously reach out to somebody. Hell, leave me a comment. We can chat back and forth. Just, there's hope.
Mm-hmm.
There is hope. If you want that hope.
All it takes is one little thought and feeling.
It can take a smile. You know, I've read stories of people that were on their way out. Here's a good one. Lacey Strum from the band Flyleaf. She was going to commit suicide. She was down. She was out. And she ended up going to church that morning, and then she decided after church she was going to go kill herself. And it took one guy to sit there and talk to her, ask her why she's there, what's going on, and changed her whole entire life. And she didn't go kill herself, and she became a Christian and a pretty big or a successful musician.
Mm-hmm.
I have another story. There's this guy, follow him on TikTok. I forgot what his name is. Maybe, I don't know. But he was depressed. He was like, I'm gonna do it. So he went to Waffle House to have his last meal. And he said at Waffle House, there's so much people that he couldn't get in with just one person. So he got this other random guy that wanted to eat too. And then they were both sitting side by side. And then the other dude just started telling all of his life problems. And he said it was pretty bad. And then that's when the dude realized my life really isn't that bad. And that's when he changed. So.
It can happen. But I stress, if you want it to. Like, if you really want to have a better life, reach out to somebody. And I know it's easier said than done to do it, but seriously. So this story about Jeremy, once I found out that he was buried down there, which I just found out not awfully too long ago, I'm thinking, like, I like to visit graves. We've been to so many famous graves. We like to walk through cemeteries. I know some people think that's weird.
We find other famous people while walking into
Right.
It's paying respects.
It's just, it's our thing. We enjoy it. But once I found out he was buried down there, I'm thinking, why the hell did I not know that? And why haven't I been there?
Mm-hmm.
So we finally went. Carson and I went to his grave. We cleaned it off for one. Graveyards need to do better. God, there's so many graveyards where it's just overgrown.
I like
and
watching the TikTok videos where people are scrubbing the graves and making them clean and nice again.
It'd be nice if even a random person would go out there too.
There's a grave in the War Eagle Cemetery, the one that was that says murdered.
Yeah.
And it's been nasty because, I mean, it's from the Civil War time. And that was one that I wanted to do a video of cleaning. And when Dylan and Derek and I went to attempt that video, I'll be damned, somebody already did it.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
all cleaned, and you can read the letters
That's
and everything
wild.
really
You
well.
put it out into the universe and someone's that, okay.
And I'm just like, damn. And I even
I'll be there
told them, I was
tomorrow.
like, man, it's been on my list to come out here and do this.
That's wild. What are the odds?
But
In that same one.
yes. So rest in peace to Jeremy Wade Dell. I'm just gonna say Dell. It's just a bad situation. I do believe that, you know, Pearl Jam writing that song Jeremy is what brought light to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He'll never know that he's infamous, I should say, I guess.
He's probably looking down and like, yep, that's
He's more well known now, you know, because of this.
And I don't know, I would see it if, then again, I don't know. But if I was a mom and I would see this, that's like, that putting it out there as a song, like, it gets recognition that it's a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
that suicide does happen, like, you know.
Eddie Vedder
I don't know,
wanted,
I always think the positive side of things.
well,
Yeah.
he didn't do it to upset anybody.
No.
I mean, he had great intentions. His heart was there. He wanted to bring
Mhm.
awareness to it. Not only to that, to, like, you know, gun control kids.
Yeah.
You know, he really put it out there. This is their debut album. This is their first album that they came out with. So he actually wrote this, you know, of course, before the album was released. I don't know if he knew if it would have been such a big hit as it has become, you know. And if you haven't heard the song, Google it, YouTube it, Pearl Jam,
Listen to the lyrics.
Jeremy.
Even watch the video.
Right. But just go into it understanding he's talking about two different kids,
And it's a combined story.
and it's a combined story.
Mm-hmm.
So going to his grave was humbling. And then we went by the house, which I think the house kind of looked vacant.
It did.
And there was a sign on the door, and I didn't go up to the house. I just filmed it from my car because I don't like to draw attention or anything. So you'll see it as a fairly quick clip, just to give a visual, you know. And all the other videos that I've seen, nobody has shown his house. There's pictures of his house on that file online.
Yeah.
But no one has actually shown the house. The high school is known; people have shown it, but I did go by the high school also, since that's where
I
it
wonder
happened.
if they still have like the classroom, just new classroom.
We were talking about that
Because a lot of places nowadays, anyways, tend to like bulldoze the whole thing, or if any kind of big
right.
casualty or anything like that.
Just get rid of the room.
I think the
Yeah,
room
or
is still
block
there.
room.
I just don't know if it's an active classroom. I don't know.
And do you think that kids like know?
I think
Around
kids still
school.
talk about it. I think kids would still talk about it.
I wonder how hard they try to silence everybody.
I don't think they did back then. But back then, you didn't have the social media. You didn't have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, like at your school, if you guys post something that the school doesn't allow, they find the students, they make you delete it.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't have that access to it. And hell, that didn't really start up until, I mean, TikTok is not that old, really. Even YouTube, I think YouTube's only like 15 years old, somewhere around there. So it's really not that
It's relatively new.
common back then. But I bet kids still talk about it. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that something that big happened.
Or some people think it's like a myth or
Right.
Yeah.
I would
just
like
a
to
rumor.
know.
Every school has their rumors with it.
Right.
Like at Oakdale, the library dips and down, and everyone was like, "That's a pool. It used to be a pool."
I remember. Yeah, they said that.
Yeah, there's always. I would like to know if they still use that. Is it an active classroom?
I want to know too.
Do they still hold class in there?
I would feel weird
See,
knowing that.
I'm morbid on that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I would be like,
Like I would
"Okay,
go in there.
let's-
I would be like,
Let's
oh,
read the EVP.
right,
let's
do
bring the ghost-
investigation here.
Turn the lights off. We're gonna do a seance.
That's yeah. It wouldn't bother me
I know,
if
but
I had to go to that classroom.
okay. I know what I always wanted to do. I always wanted someone like bring me somewhere and not tell me anything about it, and see if I can like vibe it out
Derek and I have talked about that with me.
and be like, yes, this place something happened.
Oh,
or,
there's
you know,
there's this
without
one,
knowing.
there's
right.
this one spot at the lake we went to one time, and the farther back we went, Dad was like feeling weird to the point where he was like having a panic attack. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember your last video. I heard.
Did you watch my last video?
No.
I watched your last video.
So Derek and I were just talking about that in the last video
Yeah.
because he asked me if there was a spot
If you got any weird vibes.
that get weird vibes or something, and that was the only one that really came to mind back then. So he actually wants us to take him there. And I told him, I was like, I'll go. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay or what'll happen, but I mean, I'll take you there.
It was weird because we went there, and then do you remember when it was like smoky over there too? It was probably just someone having a fire, but
Yeah.
it was weird.
Yeah, that part of the lake where Ford's Creek comes in just creeps me out. And I'm not one that gets creeped out.
Oh, remember when you were talking about that teacher that got killed in Beaver Lake?
Oh, is that where the dude spanner?
Or
S-
no,
win
not
the
that.
boat?
No, not that one.
Oh, I don't know if she was a teacher. Are you talking about Alicia Minton?
Yes.
Yes.
What if that's where she was at?
She's not.
Did they ever find her body?
They never found her body, but they
Is that the Tinder date one?
no.
No. The
Um,
lake has a lot of bodies.
Yeah, scared.
the guy that killed her finally admitted to it. He got arrested for drug-related issues.
I know, and then he said he told his cellmate.
Told his cellmate about it. So he told them where the body was and stuff. And they had sonar people from all over the country come. They still never found her body, but he reassures that he did do it, and she is at the bottom of the lake.
And how they not find her?
It's a hard, and Beaver's not an easy lake.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
Deer Island?
It's
The
outside Bear Island.
Bear Island.
the Pea Ridge Tavern thing, that one gives me. I can't be in there for very long because it's just heavy, and I can't breathe in there. I have to like walk really fast in there. I can't be in there long.
When we had the paranormal team up and going, we contacted them. We gained access to do paranormal investigation in there. But what stopped us is they have to have the ranger on duty. You have to pay them to do it. It was going to cost like a few $1,000s and get a permit.
Jesus.
I'm like, I'm not paying that. So we talked about going there during the day
Mhm.
and doing one. Which investigations don't have to be done at night.
Yeah.
At night, it's less noise pollution and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be done at
The
night.
ghosts don't just come out at night.
That's right. But that's something I'd still want to
No, it's very heavy in there.
eventually. I mean, there's a lot of people that died.
I know,
There's a lot of
there
people
is.
that died in that building because they used it for a temporary hospital as the
Yeah.
war was taking place. There's a lot of high
But
energy.
even like, because I don't like think about that, like going in there, I'm just like, because they had it open one day, and me and Dylan.
Speak louder.
Me and Dylan were going in there, and like I wasn't thinking about that, but I just as soon as I walked through that door, I was like, oh god, I felt really dizzy and like lightheaded, and like it was very heavy on me, and I was like, okay, I'm getting out of here.
I've never
Weird.
had a feeling like that.
It's weird. It like takes over you.
The most weirdest thing that's happened is for the longest time period, I would never know what the dream was, but I have a nightmare and I wake up like panic screaming. Remember that?
Mhm.
Christmas Eve when that happened?
Mhm.
I just
Oh,
wake
yeah.
up panic screaming. I wouldn't
Well,
know.
those are
what
more of
happened.
night terrors.
Yeah, night terrors. Those are freaky.
You used to get those enough to be like, what the hell?
It was weird.
You know what was scary on that same night, Carson, when you did that? Like a couple days before, I was watching this murder mystery, and it happened on Christmas, of course, where this guy freaking killed the whole family.
Oh shit.
And so when you started screaming, I was like, "Don't go out there! Don't go out there!"
I remember that.
That was weird. I
It was
woke
scary.
up.
Everyone was screaming.
I woke up, started screaming, and I was like trying to run out the door, and Dad was holding me, and I was trying
Well,
to
I'm
push
trying to
her
calm
down.
him down, then I'm having to try to calm everybody else down. Like, it's fine. He's having a
Everyone
night
was
terror.
screaming, and then it just went silent, and I was like, "Oh hell no, I ain't going out there."
Yeah.
And then we had to sleep on the couch the rest of the night.
So, everybody, that's the story of Jeremy. There's a lot more that you can find online. We would be here for hours if we went over everything.
And he was born in Kentucky.
I did not know that.
He was.
I know they lived in Texas in different places.
I found that as interesting because you never hear about Kentucky. I never hear anything. And I was like, well, it didn't happen in Kentucky, obviously. Of course, in Texas, where everything else happens. But I'm like, I never hear about Kentucky.
Right.
So that was interesting.
So that is today's vlog. Just to educate on Jeremy Wade Dell. And then our adventure, a little bit of our adventure with it and researching it, doing a deep dive on it. I learned a lot more, and like I said, he wasn't bullied like I originally thought.
Some of it's a mystery.
There's still
They said there's more questions than there is answers.
yeah, they created even more questions than it, which a lot of cases like that does. Like I said, some of my questions that I have is, for one, do they still use that classroom?
Yeah.
For two, did he pre-plan doing it in the classroom? Or is it the case where she sent him to the office to get that slip and he's like, you know what, I'm going to do it now. Done with this.
True. But he brought it with him.
He brought it with him, but I think
So
he's
he
brought
knew
it
he
with
was
him
gonna-
before. Because they would check his locker often. And even in ISS, the in-school suspension, they would pat him down every so often to make sure he
saying that. Yeah.
didn't have stuff with him.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew this guy was a threat. They knew that he was wanting to do something. I'm just glad it was just him and he didn't act out and kill the math teacher or other students like we see in the news just too damn often anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember in the 90s shootings like that happening.
Columbine was.
Didn't you say you got?
Columbine, yeah, that was 99.
That was 99?
I believe that was 99,
I
Columbine.
thought it was early.
Look it up on your phone.
Didn't you say you got like bomb threats and stuff like that?
We would get bomb threats occasionally.
Gosh, now the FBI is gonna see my.
Oh shit, all the research that I do, if the FBI looked at my phone, they'd be like, what the hell? But it's just research.
April 20th, 1999, yeah.
Boom. Don't ever underestimate your dad.
Whatever. I thought it was earlier in the 90s, so.
No, it,
So that pretty
and not saying shootings didn't happen.
Yeah.
But they just weren't as common. You didn't hear about them like you do now.
Mm-hmm.
And back in 1991 when this happened, of course, that was shocking.
Yeah.
You know, that's the same with like the West Memphis 3. Back then you just didn't hear about things.
You didn't hear about murders. You didn't hear about kidnappings.
You know, it wasn't.
Children used to ride their bikes down the street. Now you can't do that.
It's a different world. And you know, like the West Memphis 3. I mean, there's been kids killed since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But at that point, that was like the most gruesome thing anybody's ever heard of. You know, countrywide. Now it's just like.
Do you think? Okay, since we have technology now and like phones, we can track our kids. We can call them. Do you think it's more safer in a way? Or do you think we're like making it seem like it's unsafe now, but we just hear about more on social media and stuff, so we're just like overly.
I think social media has a big role in it, you know, because like before cell phones, when we were kids growing up, we didn't have phone. You had to go to a payphone or ask somebody to use their phone.
Yeah.
We didn't have internet or anything like that. You had the news, and you would hear things on the news, like kidnappings and stuff like that, murders. It happened. I don't know how. You'd have to look up statistics on it if it's gotten worse or not. But I think now with social media, we're more aware of it happening more. That's like tornadoes. You know, tornadoes drop every year all the time. But now with social media, cameras, and phones, you get pictures almost every damn tornado now.
Yeah, that's true.
To where before you didn't, you know. So social media has played a huge role into it. But social media has played a big role into people getting bullied. You got the cyberbullying.
Yeah.
You got shit at school like, hey, we're gonna fight. We're gonna, you know, you can communicate.
That's true.
With it to where before, and like back when I was in school, you got in a fight. Most of the time, you never got busted for fighting. It was a quick fight. It got broken up. Everybody went their separate ways. Now people pulling out their phones and every little thing, argument is out there. You know.
That's true.
But I do believe, like, of course, the population everywhere is a lot greater now, and the greater the population, the more crime you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the crime has gone up since first when I was a kid to now. But like, how many serial killers have you discovered from the 60s, 70s, 80s that you've never heard of? But now we have YouTube, and I've discovered some. Like the trucker that drove cross country and murdering people. Never heard of them until I shuffling through YouTube and it's like, oh damn, and that happened I think in the 80s. You know, not every serial killer made national news like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Richard Ramirez.
Richard Ramirez is big in the news. Social media. I think social media puts more fear into people over stuff.
And you think location?
Location. Mm-hmm.
More coverage.
It's, I don't know.
With phones, it's a pros and cons.
But yeah, because you can also like, there's been times where I've been listening to like murder things, and they took like a Snapchat video right before they died, and it captured so and so's voice. They were there.
Yeah.
And you know, so in a way, it's like, I don't know.
Well, it's like the pinging of the phones.
Exactly, the tracking.
You know, they can track you Okay, you pinged off this cell tower, and this is where it happened. Why were you there?
Exactly.
And then people are stupid. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. Phones can be tracked. You can delete your text messages, and the police can still pull them up. They can still
They're
pull
so
them out.
stupid when they do that.
It's like there is a trail, you know. And then the forensics of it, the DNA testing and stuff has gotten so much better. I mean, it just takes one skin cell left out the crime that they can link you to.
And now they can generate, like, have you seen where they can generate a piece of DNA and show you exactly what the person looks like?
Could look like, yep.
That's freaking wild.
But as good as technology is, there's still a lot of cold cases out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still going to happen. It's always going to happen. But, you know, they've been able to solve cold cases from evidence that before they even had the technology. Now they have technology and they can go back. It's kind of like the Grant Harden about, he murdered somebody. They linked his DNA to a rape of a teacher back in I forget what year, 95, 96, somewhere around there. And linked him 20 years later, linked him to the crime. So I love finding cold cases that get solved.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
Because it's just like,
I can't do unsolved mysteries because they stress me out.
and then like the database.
You say data or data?
I say data.
Database.
Data.
You say data, I think of the Goonies.
Yeah.
Of the that 23andMe.
Oh yeah.
You give
I think that's
the
good.
sample, and then they've been able to link
So many
crimes and murders to that, and sometimes it comes back as a family member. They're like, nah, it wasn't me, and it turns out to be their dad or their mom or a cousin or
I
somebody.
think that's smart.
That is pretty slick.
That's pretty smart.
There's so much goes on
Because
behind the scenes that we just don't know, that people don't think. You think you have the perfect crime, you really don't.
no, it's never no.
So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Rest in peace to Jeremy Wade Dell. As far as Pearl Jam goes, writing that song, I still support it 100% because it wouldn't have brought awareness as big on this case and other cases as powerful as a song from one of the greatest grunge bands. One of them. I didn't say the, but one of them.
And music now is just so like, they don't have any meanings or.
Don't even get me started on that. I'm at that age now where my parents were with me. The new music is crap, but
they have stories, they have intel, they have reasoning why they broke these songs.
And a lot of them are written by them. But
that's true.
so thanks for watching. I'm gonna add the footage of going to the cemetery, the house, and the high school at the end of this. And there is gonna be the video of pulling into the cemetery and driving and walking straight to his grave for those that are interested in going there, because I know we couldn't find specific anything.
That sucked.
We had to figure it out, and so I thought I'd make it easier on other people. So we will be awesome, be kind to people, be adventurous, live your life. Thank you two for being here.
No problem.
Thank you.
And
I'll be back.
They'll both be back. Me and Little Man soon are gonna do a diabetic vlog to talk about him and his diabetes. We just had a scare last week about him going to DKA. We'll get into that later on. But you guys have a great week, and we will see you later.
Bye.
All right, we found the grave. I think it's pronounced Jeremy Wade Dell. I don't think it's Dell E, but I'll have to research that. But this is the young man that the song from Pearl Jam, Jeremy, was named after. Alright guys, this was kind of difficult to find at first. That's why I'm doing this video showing you. There's a cemetery across the street from this one. That's not the right one. But once you follow this and you see the Garden of Freedom sign, you got the sidewalk, you got that little building thing over there. You're gonna turn at an angle and you see that tree. He's gonna be like right over here. So we're just gonna walk diagonal from that Garden of Freedom sign. You see the apartment buildings there. You just walk directly diagonal. And it'll take you there. Just remember those apartments there. This tree got the back wall. We actually found it because of those apartments on somebody's TikTok video. So anyways, we're kind of doing reverse this time. There's the grave. Oh geez, a hole at the foot of that grave. But you go directly diagonal to the Garden of Freedom sign. Like I said, on the across the street, those buildings over there is a different cemetery. You can see the cars pass by. So all of you guys looking for Jeremy's grave, I hope this helps. Garden of Freedom, straight diagonal that way. All right. So this is Jeremy's house that he lived in when he passed. And I don't think it was pink back then. He lived here with his father. This is where he left to go to school that morning. Sad. This is Richardson High School, where Jeremy Deli went to school. It was inside this building that he went to English class, pulled out a .357 Magnum, put it in his mouth, and took a shot. I'm sure this has changed on the inside a little bit since 1991. And I don't know if any of these classrooms have it. It's pretty big school, pretty decent school, size school. From what I understand, he only went here for like 2 months, so he was fairly new. I was always under the impression that he was bullied, but a lot of interviews and things that I read on him, he wasn't. He was suicidal, he was depressed, he did try to commit suicide once by taking a bunch of pills.